My dad gave my car to my stepbrother without asking, so I reported it stolen and watched him get arrested at his job. I was 17 when Dad married Rochelle, a woman who collected vintage teacups and spoke in hushed tones about her son's potential. Kieran was 19, jobless, and had already crashed 2 cars by the time they moved into our house. But somehow he was the golden child who could do no wrong. The Honda Civic was mine. I'd worked every weekend at the hardware store for 2 years, saving every dollar while my friends went to movies and bought designer clothes. When I finally had enough for the down payment, Dad drove me to the dealership and signed the papers. My name was on the title. My money paid the monthly payments. For 6 months, everything was fine. Then Kieran's latest girlfriend dumped him, and suddenly he needed reliable transportation to get his life back on track. Dad called me into the kitchen one Tuesday morning. "Kieran's going to borrow your car for a while," he said, not looking up from his coffee. "His job interviews are downtown and the bus system isn't reliable." "What job interviews?" I asked. Kieran hadn't left the couch in 3 days. "Don't question your father," Rochelle snapped from across the room. "Family helps family." I tried reasoning with them. The car was registered in my name. I needed it for work, for school, for my own life. But Dad had already decided, and in his mind, that was the end of the discussion. That afternoon, I came home to find my parking spot empty. Kieran was gone, and so was my Honda. When I called his phone, he laughed. "Relax, little sis. I'm just using it to impress this girl from Tinder. I'll bring it back tomorrow." He didn't bring it back tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week. When I confronted Dad, he shrugged. "Boys need cars more than girls do. You can ride the school bus." Something inside me snapped. I'd spent my entire childhood watching Dad give my things away to make other people happy. My birthday money to my cousin who needed it more. My bedroom to visiting relatives who deserved privacy. My college fund to his brother's failed restaurant. But this was different. This was mine, legally and financially. I walked to the police station that Friday morning before school. The officer behind the desk looked skeptical when I explained the situation. "It's your vehicle?" he asked, reviewing the title I'd brought. "Yes, sir, and I never gave anyone permission to take it, even though it's family, especially because it's family." 2 hours later, I was sitting in calculus when the principal called me to the office. My phone had 17 missed calls from Dad. The police had found Kieran at his part-time job, one I didn't even know he had, washing dishes at a chain restaurant downtown. They'd arrested him for auto theft in front of his co-workers, his manager, and the lunch rush crowd. Dad was livid when I got home. Rochelle was crying. They'd spent their afternoon at the police station trying to explain that it was all a misunderstanding. "How could you do this to your own brother?" Dad shouted. "He's not my brother," I said calmly. "And it's not a misunderstanding. He stole my car." The charges were eventually dropped after I agreed not to pursue prosecution, but the damage was done. Kieran lost his job. Rochelle stopped speaking to me entirely. Dad looked at me like I was a stranger. 3 months later, I moved out. I found a tiny apartment across town and transferred to a different school. On graduation day, I sat alone in the audience, but my Honda was parked outside with my diploma in the passenger seat. Kieran still lives at home. He's 23 now, still borrowing money and making excuses. Sometimes I drive past the house and see him walking to the corner store. I never offered him a ride.